Hello, everybody. Welcome to Space Engineers 2. I'm Duke Skylover. Today, and Ire, welcome in chat there. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. So, as you all probably know, all one of you watching at the moment, VS2.2 is out, and we have all sorts of new mechanical blocks. And I'm just here in the, the normal space world, the, not survival start, standing on the desk here. And I was thinking about how I wanted to go about engaging with Space Engineers 2 now that we have subgrids and stuff like that. And I thought, maybe now it's a good time to actually dig in and start getting good at the building, the designing aspect of Space Engineers 2, I assume you're going to bring your whole, 4,000 people to come watch this, so. But I wonder why the bot kicked in now and not the first time you talked. Anyway. Congrats on 4,000 people, by the way. 4,000 subscribers. Anyway, what was I saying? So instead of doing survival, because I kind of wanted to, before I go back into survival, I kind of wanted to just do those opening missions again, like off stream, and I don't have time for that. I'm getting over a cold. You might still be able to hear it in my voice. I'm not sure. I think I'm doing a lot better, but still pretty sniffly. And every so often I have a coughing fit, but it's been few and far between lately. So I think I'm pretty much on the up and up, but I haven't had time to do a whole lot. So I'm like, why don't I just hop in creative and, just start designing something. Hey, Toshiro, welcome. Also, I have a couple of other follow-ups to do. I have completed my little guy. Oh, you can't see him all at once, can you? Little guy, there he is. Last time I showed him off, he was missing his pouches on the sides here. So they're printed now. They're all fixed up. He's good to go. Thumbs up. Little guy. I'm not going to paint him. I like him in the gray. Otherwise, I would have printed him in like blue or some other color that would have been like the primary color of the suit and then painted the rest, but I just threw some gray filament in there and he's going to be prototype gray. So, anywho, all right, let's, is there anything else I wanted to talk about? That's not the way out of here. Oh yeah, there was one thing. What am I going to build? So, at first, I thought, what would be cool is the Anaconda from Elite Dangerous, because it's a deceptively kind of basic shape. Where's a good picture that's not blurry? I mean, that one's kind of blurry, but you could see the gist of it. It's kind of basic. It's a little curved, but we could just make that flat. We'd probably have to do it in steps because it's Space Engineers and everything. Yeah, but it looks kind of sleek, and there's like a bridge back here and everything, It's got a cool kind of a shape. It's a rather large ship, and what I like about the Elite Dangerous ships is that they already have thrusters in every direction, and so you kind of know where you can place thrusters, even though we'd have to do even more. So, Engineer Coffee, how are you doing? I hope you're getting better. So I had thought about doing this. Oh, look at this. Is this this is probably already it in Space Engineers. So there we go. That's kind of nice. But anyway, one of the things that kind of drew me to this in specific was, if you look at it from the bottom, I don't know how, can we make this open image in new tab? Does this get big? Yeah. From the bottom, you can see it's not sleek at all. There is like supposedly like an observation bay in the front, and then there's just like this big box on the back, which has like, I think on the other side, there's like a door that opens for a ship to fly out. So, I kind of always like this one because it's got a cool, it's completely different on the top and the bottom, right? So, and it's really angular and everything. And so at first I was thinking this is the one, but then I thought this is actually a rather large ship overall. And you can actually kind of see it right here. There's another symbolic thing about this ship. This is the only ship in Elite Dangerous that actually has damage stages. If you've ever played Elite Dangerous, when you take damage, this is the only ship that actually changes what it looks like and it will have like broken parts, which I think is what this is. It'll have broken parts and pieces will fall off. All the other ships, they just have like bullet hole decals that they get and scorch marks, but this is the only one that actually changes its model, because that was originally how they were all going to be, and then after they did one, they were just like, okay, that was way too much work, apparently. So they never did it for any of the other ones. I have an itch. So, my craving for large destructible ship is a straight line from Elite Dangerous to Space Engineers, because that's, you see that red ship hit the blue ship, and all of a sudden everything just kind of clicks together. It really scratches that itch that I can't seem to reach between my shoulder blades there. But anyway, this was going to be the plan. There it is in Space Engineers as well. Look at that. This was going to be the plan. Oh, that's kind of a cool one too. I'm getting distracted now. What I eventually decided was, maybe it's really too big and perhaps too complicated for me to be learning stuff. So what I decided instead was, I started looking for inspiration from the from Ayer's community and Star Wars ships. Wait, hold on, what's flying by up here? Unknown ship flying by. Who's this guy? I want to know. I want to see it. Where is it? Who's this guy? Pretty far away out there. I don't have binoculars mod. Anyway, what I decided on instead, after looking at a whole bunch of Star Wars ships, was I was like, it's really nice and simple. Y-Wing, right? And I talked about, I love the Y-Wing. It's nice and simple. It's practical. Then I found this. I don't know if this was from something or what, but this is, I don't know. It says it's the Resistance version of the Y-Wing. I don't know if that's apocryphal or what, but I like it. It's because it's got a little bit of a shape to it, and it doesn't have the big round stuff on the front. So I thought, why don't we try and do something like this? Maybe not exactly this, but let's just go with it. Hey, Fuse, welcome. Good to see you. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to put that off to the side. As always, with these Stellar Garage type things, we're not going to worry too much about making it perfect. This is not. Oh, he really probably knocked some bolts loose with that one. This is not a Star Wars shipbuilding competition, so I'm not going to try and make it perfect, but my goal here is for me to learn the finer things about Space Engineers 2 shipbuilding, because I've only ever built smaller utility ships in survival mode and buildings. And buildings are usually kind of square with just a little bit of greeble to it. And, as you all know, shipbuilding is a different kind of thing. So that's what we're going to do. Let's see, Toshiro had a question. Oh, what kind of 3D printer do I have? It is a Prusa i3S Mark II. I don't remember. It's a Prusa Research 3D printer. Single color. But prints this guy. So he's pretty good. He needs a name, though. We should give him a name. So anyway, let's head down here. Now, I was trying to decide, is it better to build off of this platform, since these things seem to be here almost begging me to build off of them, or should I build off of the asteroid? I don't want to just build in space, because I don't have the thrusters in yet or anything to like hold it. I don't want to bump it. So let's actually first, I've never really set up a, in Space Engineers 1, I have a default toolbar for creative mode. And I don't have a default, what is this? These are heavy, right? Yeah, because they're extra dotted. So we're going to just go light armor. This seems like a reasonable start. And then what have we got here? The detailing blocks. So usually on my first toolbar, I have armor. And then on my second toolbar, yeah, get rid of all this stuff here. Get out of here. On my second toolbar, oh wow, they just fill up everything here, don't they? Get everything out. Go, gone. There's no way I'm ever looking through all these toolbars to find all this stuff, so... Because that's not how I play. What is this? Voxel hands? We'll leave that there, why not? And tools way over here. You know what? That's fine. Let's just keep that. Okay. So yeah, I usually put armor on the first one. Armor and tools, usually. But... oh, I do want to put a rotor down real quick and play around with it. Let's do interior wall, because we might... Actually, I don't know that we're going to... Actually, you know, we might. We might use that a little bit. Were there any... Do you know... Wasn't there like a block that was not in one of the groups? One of the particularly useful smaller detail shapes? They fixed that? I don't remember. I want this... You know, yeah, we might use some catwalks. I might use them on the sides. All right, we'll figure out the rest of that later. Hey, Game Dork, welcome. Let's see. The April 2nd stream should start on time, Game Dork. So if you'd kept waiting, you know, we would have got there eventually. It's right near it in the the half triangle. Okay, can we search for half? I think nope. The half armor, light armor. Is it this one? Yeah, that looks like the one. That looks like the one. Zoop. All right. I gotta remember how my... Yeah, there we go. That works. Good. That works. Okay. It's like a... That weirded me out for a second because there's like a slight delay between the movement and the sound. Alright, so there's the... Where was that actually in here, though? Detail slope. That's gotta be under armor, though, right? Alright, so there's the half slope. It's right left of it. Really? I assume you mean this one. Light armor, half slope, inverted. Just throw that in there. Otherwise, can you see, if you look at one of the groups? Yeah, there we go. So those three are in that group, or four. Don't see it in there. Don't see it in there. Not in there. Not in there. Okay. Cool. So actually, why don't we get rid of these two and just put these in here. That's okay. That is okay. Alright, I do want I want to put some rotors, pistons. I want to check out some of these new blocks real quick. What are we going to do for energy? We just have batteries and... Oh yeah, we do have reactors, that's right. Okay. I'll probably just throw a reactor on it. Weapons. Here we go. We're going to need some of that. I might... There's like a ball turret looking thing on the back, but I might just put a Gatling turret in that spot. I think the rest of this we'll just go as we go. So how big is this thing? That's potentially too large. Unless... Well... Maybe not, because we'll probably end up doing like a no functionality control seat. We'll probably do a control seat and then put windows around it to make a... Yep, this is going to end up being the window toolbar. There we go. We'll just do windows around it. Window slope, that's in there. Okay. Yeah, well, this is going to be a pretty big ship then. Alright, so let's... Oh wait, I was going to look at some other things here. So this, definitely rather large for the type of build, but probably okay. I do love the design of it. I'm still kind of sad that it takes up so much space around it, but it doesn't take up a full like 3x3 large block like before. It still does have a little bit of a, you know, we can get it right there. So it still has a bit of a gap, but it's not like in SE1 where you would have to have like a full 2 blocks visually in between. So, you know, and that's, I know they only do that specifically so that the gun barrels don't clip into each other when they're too close, but yeah, I think this is reasonable. I think it's reasonable. I wish I had build vision. It's funny because, you know, I was watching somebody playing Star Rupture today, and it was Ire, and thinking about how like Star Rupture, you interact with everything directly, and there's no control panel anywhere. You know, there was one part where you said exactly what I was thinking, which was like, man, it would be great if you could just select all of these storage things and set them all at the same time. It's like in Space Engineers, that's kind of like the default. You open up a control panel, you can do all sorts of things. In Star Rupture, it's almost like you only have build vision. So I'm taking a drink of water early. You guys know the drill. I'm really, really thirsty these days because I'm getting over the sickness. Yeah, man, I might have to go refill it before we're done. Okay. I haven't built a single thing yet. What else was I going to look at? Piston. That's a little piston. That's a piston top. There we go. There's a big... Nope, that's a rotor. Did I accidentally hit... Oh, I did. Yep, never mind. I was saying piston, but I meant rotor. So there's a rotor bottom, rotor top. Bucket of rotor. There we go. We could store our things inside of that rotor there. And that I like the design. Yeah, I kind of do wish a little bit that they had maybe rethought the rotor, like add some gears or something in it. Prospector ship going by. Is he gonna get close? I want to poke around at one of those. Yeah, like, you know, add some gears on it or something, so that's not just entirely like a big metallic cylinder, but still, it's well done. So, and what did I just delete? No one knows. Oh, yeah, one person knows. It was the bottom of the rotor. So you can delete, if you put a rotor down, you can delete just the bottom. Okay. All right, piston. Big piston. Piston top, I'm assuming. Little piston. All right. Can I maybe interact with the top? There we go. How do we make the piston? Boy, this is going to be annoying when we have to, if we build off of, maybe I should just build off of the asteroid so that I don't have all this other stuff in here. But I just want to see, where's the button? Reverse. Reverse. Where's velocity? Reverse. Oh, there we go. I like the sound. I like the sound a lot. I'm trying to think of what it sounds like in Space Engineers 1. You know, I know it's got that like noise at the very beginning, and I can't even really think of what they sound like. I think it's just more of a quieter hum. But I like the design. I love when they put glass on it. Probably look even better if we turn ray tracing on. But wait, it just always makes that noise, huh? So only certain parts of it are colorable, huh? Do I have the... Oh, there's the area welder. Oh, you know what? I was asking before, and then I wasn't... I don't think I got an answer, but is there, once you get a area welder, is there a reason, a good reason to ever use the normal welder, other than like if you really specifically wanted to weld like just one block? I feel like having the area welder might as well just be your default thing. So. Anyway. Ooh, wait. This. Where's that ship going by? Hang on a second. I have to take a detour from my stated goal for a second. Who remembers how you get onto the bridge? Never mind. Wait. These are some pretty strong windows. What does that look like? Oh, there we go. I broke through. What does that look like from the outside? Where did I just pull that from? Hang on. Okay. Alright, so pretend we're like... You know, this is like a ship full of Star Rupture little creatures, you know. Yeah, I kind of agree. The Star Rupture gunplay is really good. Like, it feels really good. I haven't... Obviously, this is like one of the first times I'm actually... Oh, you can't zoom in yet, huh? One of the first times I'm actually using this rifle. It's got a good feel to it. It's got a good sound to it. The sounds in Star Rupture, I think, are a little bit better. But some of these ricochet sounds are pretty good. But I like that you do see a little bullet casing go flying at some point. I don't know if you could see it. You could, I don't know if it's coming through on the screen, but every so often you could just barely see a little bullet casing go by. So. But I think it's better than the Space Engineers 1. For sure. Big improvement. Big improvement. Now I just need something good to shoot at. Also, I do like the design of this gun, too. It's just sci-fi enough. Kind of like a Halo gun, you know? It's like they're just... like the normal... Is it the battle rifle? I'm so bad at Halo. Whichever is the default classic gun that you start with. You know, the classic rifle. I always mix it up with the other one that's very similar, but anyway, you know, it's like, just feels like a future version of the same thing. So I think I'm actually going to go ahead and start from like here. Can we? Yeah, we'll just do this. We'll just make like a... I think maybe when we have some NPCs, I'm just going to go way out here. Nope. I want it to go the other way. There we go. Once we have some NPCs, like ground NPCs and stuff to shoot at in this game, I think that's gonna help. Is the stream choppy at all for you guys? My preview looks a little bit choppy on my side, and I'm just not sure if that's on purpose. That's me, or if that's how it looks for everybody. There are some storms going through today, so you know, the usual might have bitrate issues. All right, so let me go back to my picture there. What we might be building. Now, where do we want to start with this? Do we want to do... I don't know, maybe we'll just... Yeah, the game does stutter every so often. We could check the settings, because I had dialed them in to be the best possible thing earlier, but... which is everything high except for no ray tracing. Let's turn down... We could do it. We could try a different scaling mode. That's the DLSS thing. We probably don't need... hang on. Let's actually just do... Let's just put everything on... What does this turn on that I don't like? Let's put everything on medium. That's good. Okay, then that's off. Except then I can't, like... I want to change... well, fine. That's
Hello
fine.
there.
Hello there. Marcus, 3 months. Thank you for continuing as a member. Appreciate it. I'm doing better. I'm doing a lot better. I still feel a bit sniffly, but it comes and goes. Hopefully the game doesn't stutter as much anymore. We'll see. All right, so we're building a Y-wing, kind of. Let's see. I'm still getting used to what my options are for, like, flat armor blocks. I don't want to do... It's like you kind of want to do everything with detail blocks or something. And I don't want to. But... click the top where it says medium. Hang on. Right there. And then what? Click the top where it says medium. The actual words. You can go to a medium preset, high preset, and then... Oh, I see. So you go to medium, set it, and then go to custom, and then everything just kind of turns on. Oh, that's good. So I could go to... What I would do is actually go to high, and then go to custom, and then turn off a bunch of things. So none of that. That's fine. Rendering distance we could turn down. Terrain quality we could turn down. Keep that on. Particles are fine. We could do a whole bunch of particles. Parallax mapping, lighting should be fine. Local light shadow, let's turn that down. Sun shadow, turn that down. Quality texture, I like high quality textures. Oh, actually, we could just turn this to performance. That would actually solve most of the problems. Let's just do that, because then it'll auto, in order to keep the frame rate, it'll dial the settings down automatically. That's what my research indicates. So, all right. So, do I want? This is the kind of the reason I'm doing this, is because I'm trying to figure out, like, if I want to make like the shape of a ship. You know, what's the recommended blocks to kind of do that thing. So, I'm thinking maybe we do start with some big ones in the front. Actually, probably more like these. Because this is going to be kind of a big ship. So maybe this will be our kind of floor. Oh, I should turn on mirror mode. Hold on. That is... what? Is that this? That is this. There we go. It's a good thing that I... how do I set mirror mode? Was that it? Yes. Good. Now I want to be able to place things again. There we go. Alright. Hopefully this doesn't, yeah. You think, do the 0.5s? That would be like these guys? Instead of the big ones? Got it. I set my I set my keybinds in Space Engineers 1 to match Space Engineers 2 a while ago, and I just haven't used mirror mode like since then. So, yeah, we could do that, because what would happen here is if we did, not you, I want the flat one. That guy. Now the mirror mode is messing me up. So we did something like this. Let's just, can we do big flat? There we go. Well, so what I'm trying to, what I don't know yet, and I'm just going to do this so that it'll be easier to carve out. And that's one of the things that I was, when they first announced SE2, one of the things I was kind of hoping for was that, like, let's say you put down one of these, right? And then you thought to yourself, oh man, I really wish that I had, you know, like some kind of channel running through here or something. And you're like, well, you know, obviously we have, you know, these things and everything. So I should be able to just be like, delete that out of there, delete that out of there. But, you know, you'd have to instead get rid of the big block and rebuild it. In other words, I was kind of hoping you could put the big blocks down, and that they would somehow actually just be a collection of the little blocks in that shape, you know, and you could like chisel them away. You know, that would be cool. And I bet you there'll probably be a mod that's like that. That's just like, or I could just, honestly, you could take the detail blocks and make a big armor block and then blueprint it, you know? So. Sorry, I'm just going to stay hydrated today. It's been a dehydrating type of week. So anyway, let's assume that this is like the floor of the cockpit, okay? And we're going to put like a... Is that centered? That looks centered. We're going to have that right there, okay? That's going to be like... You're going to be sitting there. And we could put some power on here too. Let's put like a reactor on here. Just so that we can get like lights on things. We'll just put it over there. And then we'll build a cockpit around it. But we could do like... You know, we could have that be the bottom, and then we have slopey armor around it. But again, that kind of goes up too high. I feel like if I'm sitting here, can I hop in there yet? Hold on. Yeah, that's too big. So we're gonna have to do it with the detail blocks. Yeah, performance. I mean, that's always the question, right? Is how well would that perform? But my very optimistic brain was thinking, well, if they're making the engine from scratch, they could optimize for that. And, you know. They didn't. Or maybe they did. Like, maybe if you did that, it might actually just be fine. You know, who knows? So... I think I want to go one more. Yeah, that'll probably be good. I do think that most of our ships are going to end up like... Light going in here. Most of our ships are going to end up kind of like this, with just tons and tons of little detail blocks. That's how I see it. Unless we're making, like, this is supposed to be kind of like a large, small grid ship, basically. So I could see it being a, if you were doing a... Did I really mess this up? Hold on. Hold on now. Is this really one off? Oh, it is. Okay. Well, whatever. Yeah, exactly. So like Dread's Elite Dangerous Mamba, it's like you're gonna end up just with a ton of these little blocks as opposed to the. Actually, I kind of think that this should have a longer slope to it. But I don't know. I just wanted to get something out there. But yeah, we'll. I mean, unless we made it smaller and we just did use the actual cockpit in the middle, but I don't think that. I don't want to. Is basically what I'm saying because it's not the right shape for a Y-wing cockpit. Yeah, I mean we can make it work, but it's not really the right shape. Although it is probably the right feel. You know, getting into a dedicated cockpit like this is kind of the right feel. And actually, that's not a terrible looking screen layout either. But I was kind of hoping to build like a whole cockpit. Well, you know what? Here's what I'm thinking. We're gonna, because I really just want to mess with windows. um, I just want to mess with the windows for a bit, and then maybe we'll decide to switch to that cockpit and just deal with it. But I can already see that the fact that I put that this doesn't go up high enough means that this window is going to clip with that. Unless this is a... Oh, no, maybe not. Maybe not. I just need you to be, like... Yeah, it would go... No, this is right, yeah. Yeah, buddy. There we go. Space Engineers 2 Tiny Grids. Coming in handy. I had a Space Engineers 1 moment for a second there. I was like, it's going to clip with the top of the seat. But it doesn't. Because it only... That's why I laid it down like this. So that I could look at the grid and see where it actually... You know, with the green squares to see where it actually would have intersected. So we're good there. Alright, so then we need some sort of a... We need something like... Oh, okay, that's the weird way to do that. Not entirely sure where I should even... Here we go. So there we go, we're just making a gigantic thing. Oh, you know what, though? Do I have... Wait, we have this. Hold on. Undo. Let's put that back. Okay. I just realized we have a much... It's weird to, when you're doing this, to look, you start over here, hold control, and then just look away and hope that it eventually lines up with something. But this one is not doing it. Now I wonder if we got rid of you. We could, yeah, so... Okay, so let's just put that there. Because we could always put more... We could push this back a little bit if we need to. So how close can we get our seat then? Yeah, it's like we can't go there. But we can put it there. Space OSHA! Don't look at this, Space OSHA. It's not OSHA certified yet. Don't look at it officially. You can look at it unofficially. But... Actually, you know, I'm looking at my OBS, actually, and I feel like sometimes the hitches are actually just... The stutters are just OBS, actually. Because I'm getting pretty high frame rates for the most part on my computer. But yeah, that's weird. Yeah, this is what I get. I messed with settings today in OBS. And I should not have done that. Everything was fine. I tried to make things even better. I should not have. Let's see. Oh, I like that. What does a Y-wing look like? It kind of does look like that. Although it is a little more curved. Oh, well, you know. You'll line it up and then you also don't. mess up the mirroring. So get rid of you. I do always forget that undo is an option. And I'm going to continue to forget that undo is an option. So I assume we have an opposite side. I probably have to turn off mirroring to use it. What else do we got? We could... Yeah, we might do this instead. Well, not that. Where'd you go? Come back. There we go. I think that's going to look better. Now we're talking. That's very Y-wing-esque, wouldn't you say? Don't forget, there are redemptions on this channel, and I think there's one that I may have added a while ago that I don't know that anyone has ever even noticed was there. And also, I don't remember if I've ever tested that it worked. So, you know, feel free to make use of those. You're probably all building up the Shannocks. Alright, so we'll have to make this part match that part, but I think this looks pretty good. So then we could do like a... Okay, here's what I'm thinking. So we'll do... What is this? This is more of a... Yeah. So we'll kind of do... like a row of armor here.
All of this just works.
There we go. That's the one. I don't know that anyone's ever used it on stream before. Yeah, now we're talking. Yeah. You know, I'm starting to think that this Space Engineers 2 game might have legs. We might, we might be onto something with this. Alright, I want... Oh wait, there's tinier windows? Wait, do I want...
Space!
That's where we are. Do I want tinier windows than this? Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Is there a tinier version of... No, there was no tinier version of this, right? This is what it is. Yeah, okay. That's fine then. I'm good with that, because I've got other plans for tiny windows. Yes, good. Good. All right. Well, this is going to be the type of Y-wing cockpit you can get up and walk around in, apparently. Which, why not? Kind of cool, actually. So I'm going off of this specific, I showed it at the beginning, but a very specific, yeah, that's Todd Howard from Bethesda. Yes. I'm going off a specific image of a Y-wing, which is this one. And so it's like a bit of a longer cockpit than on a usual Y-wing. And so I think just the way it's going to work out is, since I won't really have anything to fill this space with, we'll just kind of be able to get up and walk around in here. Maybe we'll put a door on the side, and that's how you'll get in and out. Yes, that was indeed Todd Howard, I don't even know what his title is right now, of one of the companies that is currently called Bethesda. Softworks, probably. I'm going to hit this. Do that. Now I want to look at these windows again. I wanted a redemption for when... That's kind of big. I wanted a redemption for when it doesn't just work. I'm trying to remember what that was in reference to when he said that. Um I think it was the base building features in Fallout 4, I want to say. And I actually don't remember. This thing 4 by 4. Is that how big this is? Okay, I might have to go with the bigger window then. Oh, or we could do a, yeah, no, 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 yes, no. Alright, well, how about this? What if we did something more like, come on, angles. We did something like, something like that. That's centered? Not centered. Also not centered, but I prefer that. So, that'll work. Then we'll fill, whoops. We'll fill this in. I wonder if SE has enough for me to mock you an Empress Morava Far Trader from the Traveler Tabletop RPG. Great question, Game Dork, and I do not have an answer for you. And also, I put these blocks in wrong. I think I might have put, yeah, because these were going to be double thick no matter what. So do I? But I could. We could thin the rest of these up, though. So where would that be? Is that a... That would be like a... like that. And then up the top, we'll do these. Yeah, there we go. What does that look like down here? Yep. That looks good. I like that. Probably want to put some lights in here, too. So that means we could use that spot right there. What do we got for lights? Probably just this thing. I don't think they added any more lights, right? We also have that one. Interior light. Oh, and spotlight. Yeah, okay. That's weird that the group is up here. And the... like, there's the group, and then also... That's different than SE1, is all I'm saying. But I'll just put this, like, right there to give me a little lighting in here. Let's see. Now what do we want to do? Should we, now that we have kind of a general cockpit shape here, start to figure out how to shape underneath it? And also we should probably try and figure out how we could maybe fit like a door in. Maybe I'll just do a, because it kind of, in the design, it kind of goes all the way and then just like flows into the rest of the ship, and I'm thinking we won't do that. We'll just maybe end it with like a door on the back or something like that. We'll slope it back down or something with armor on the back. Alright, so... oh, okay. Space Engineers 1 skills. You're going to have to help me out. Okay. So... we're probably going to want to go the other way. Do we want it to be... kind of feel like I want a little bit of a... so it's not... oops, there we go. Not like right under it, but maybe just like with a bit of a border sticking out. Yeah, and then we can still shape up the rest of it, but... what is the next block that would go after that? Just this thing, right? How am I gonna do... okay, alright. Oh boy, compound blocks, man. This was my... I don't want to say fear, but concern with Space Engineers 2 is that we would end up just doing so much stuff with detail blocks. And as much as I think it's going to look amazing, it's still going to be a lot of detail blocks. Can I get a block in right there? I should be able to, right? Yeah. There we go. So that's going to look kind of cool. It's almost going to look like it was meant for this. Yeah, right. Yeah, these aren't actually even the detail blocks. I put those on a different toolbar. Or actually, I didn't even put the detail blocks on the toolbar. What I meant to say was we would be using these essentially small grid blocks. These are truly functionally just the small grid blocks. And we would just end up using these for all of the large ships. So, the looking at some of the stuff on the workshop and like dig rock stuff and the racing vehicles that you guys made and stuff, like I got nervous thinking about all of the greebles that would be showing up on all these things. Gonna be a lot of greebles. All right, what am I even doing? What's going on? What are we doing? You guys watch that Saturday Night Live? That's been stuck in my head for like 2 weeks. I don't even know. What am I doing? This looks familiar, like an old friend. You're gonna want to be like on one of these. You're gonna want to be like, ooh, wait. Back it up. Back it up. All right. This part on the front here is going to be redone to match up with this later. So, all right. All right. Have a good time, Game Dork. We'll talk to you later. Enjoy your, you don't even have to actually technically lurk if you're going out. You could just leave the stream. That's okay. Okay, I think I'm seeing the pattern here of how this is going to end up going. So... alright, settle down. Yep. At least I can leave a little bit of an air gap in there for air gappiness. Is that what this block was? That was not what that block was, right? Maybe. And then did we put like a little... yeah, maybe we did that. I also appreciate how well the, when you're doing armor like this, how well it adapts to the the combined shapes of things. For example, here, because of the way I haven't really put it together yet, you can still see the splits between the blocks. It's like it doesn't quite know how to merge them together, but over here, it's like a nice solid chunk all the way around. And I think that's what it's going to end up looking like by the time I've got all these in. That's what I think. So, we'll see. But, oh, that's too big. Too big. I need probably this thing. As long as I've got it, we'll put these down here. Yeah, this really does make me feel like anytime you've tried to build a large ship out of a small grid large ship, in SE1. That's what this makes me think of. What was that noise? Someone just pop in? Someone say hello? Oh, that's interesting. So some of the armor lines disappeared, but we still have those vertical-ish. Still have vertical lines going across. But not everywhere. Not under there. I wonder if that's because I didn't fill it in entirely underneath, because it looks like this. I wonder if that's why. I'm okay with the lines though, although this one here bothers me now. Is that because this is actually a different... That's because it's a different block than the one behind it. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's fine. I don't care. It's solidness of it. Indeed. Alright. That means we can now go through and kind of reshape some of this. Now we could stick with this. I think what I need to do is basically maybe have this come out one with a flat piece, or maybe two flat pieces, and then have it kind of, because we're going to have to put like some Gatling guns in here too. And I didn't even think about how we're going to pipe those up, but also I think maybe the floor should be thicker. So maybe we're okay there. Alright, so what if we kept that like that? I always like doing that kind of a dumb thing for some reason. This only works because I made this the wrong... symmetry. But also, I think I'm going to change it to be the right symmetry. The correct symmetry. Because I think I want to do something different with the way that this... So I'm going to get rid of this. This bottom one... Oh, it didn't work. These need to become not just a stack of half blocks. So this is basically just a big wall right here. We might as well use cubes. Cubes that are starting in this row, I think. Yeah. And then actually going to here. Is that right? That was right. Okay. Cool. So that'll work. That'll kind of... We'll be able to kind of make that look like something. And then I don't know if we're going to need that, but I think what I want to do is go out one. Kind of like that kind of a deal. Are you guys used to the using R to change within the group yet? Wondering if that should come out one as well. Maybe this was okay like this. No. I think what I need to do is, speaking of custom controls, I just had a thought. You can set alternate controls, right? I think what I need to do is, where is that? Block variant next, block variant previous. Mouse button 5, mouse button 4. So, okay. Because that, yeah, I've pretty much always got my fingers on WASD, and then doing the like finger stretch to Shift R is a little weird. In fact, having a finger on Control and then having to jump up to Shift to go through the block groups, I think that's what was getting me more than anything. So, all right, now do I want that there? That's going to change our. What do I have here? No, that's right. That continues the pattern. Okay. Yeah, I think these lines are due to me not having filled in everything underneath them. And I'm not going to. So, we're going to live with the lines. Someday there will be a mod to remove the lines. And we will rejoice. Or to fix the lines, or whatever, I don't know. Now, do I want to keep... I kind of had that in there before, but I think I'm going to get rid of it. I don't know why I talk like that. See, I talked about having my fingers on the wrong keys, and then I just did that. Ah, it's so much nicer. Okay. Okay. Or, you know what? I haven't really looked at what's in these block groups here. Hold on. So we've got this thing that's like a... Oh, I could be doing stuff with this. Oh, I could have been doing stuff with this. Oh, okay. Oh. Uh-huh. Right. Okay. Oh, so it's really just those two shapes and then the big versions. Okay. All right, never mind. I can't do a whole lot of stuff with that, but... See, I got that. I got that. And that's it. Okay. And then, of course, we have our good friends that and that, which we will probably use at some point. All right, so if we were to put I don't like this. I don't like this thing like this. But I think my question is, if we were to put Gatlings in here, how deep would we have to go for this? Are they only on the bottom, like the... Oh, there's at least they're on the back this time. That's good. Okay. So we could put them in right there. And then armor over that. Or around that. Put them a little bit further back. The Y-Wing's got a much longer front to it, but I'm thinking we're not really going to follow the Y-Wing pattern too much here. It's going to be a Y-Wing if you, like, squint at it, kind of a thing. Yeah, let's see. What if we... What if we did put them there? About that far forward, and then we just kind of extend the front of the ship around it. Or maybe we'll put them back one. Oh, I can't believe I've done this. I put it down on this bottom platform off by one. Well, you know what? The bottom platform is dead to me now. So anyway, do that. Alright. Too far apart or no? I think it's good. Okay, sorry. I think you know why what I had to do there. Alright, so yeah, let's extend this forward. This entire stream is just going to be the cockpit of this ship. Which is totally fine. Yeah, let's kind of just make this... flat. And then I'm thinking we will take this out. And go maybe like this. Ooh, that was a bit of a flash there. Yeah, but I'm thinking I gotta move them forward a little bit. That's gonna be a little bit too far. Maybe move them up one too. This is why those coughing fits are starting to come in. Yeah, I drink a lot of water. I don't drink a lot of pop or anything like that normally. But whenever I have a cold, whenever I have like a, like a sore throat or just like a cold in general or anything like that, I will drink this thing that's roughly 2/3 orange juice, 1/3 Mountain Dew, because Mountain Dew is already like a citrus drink, and they go really well together. And it's like drinking. It tastes mostly like orange juice, but with a slightly, almost like it's a little bit more lemony. But then the carbonation helps soothe the throat a little bit. And I would make a concoction like that for now, but I don't want to drink that much caffeine before bed, so. You could also do it with Sprite, but I feel like the Sprite takes more away from the orange juice, whereas the Mountain Dew kind of adds to it. Alright, so I think that'll be okay. Kinda. We'll figure out a piping mechanism. I don't even know where the pipes are gonna go to. The pipes are calling right now. I think maybe we'll keep this misaligned bottom platform and just maybe lean into it a little bit, because we could use our good friend, the old half slope, or whatever this is called in the armor, half tall slope, there we go, and maybe do something like this and give it like a, almost like a toothy, come on, like that, you know, a little bit of a bumpiness to it on the side. Though it does seem that I have lost the pattern somehow. There you go. It'll be something like that. And then we'll do a bottom there. I'm just leaning into the fact that it's like this. We could also just make a slope that extends from there to there, I think. I just thought that would look kind of cool. I guess we could have put them here. Oh, actually. Look at me having a halfway decent idea here. Yeah, if we do it like that. Okay, not entirely like that. What did I do wrong here? What? Oh, I see. Yeah, the pattern is full. Okay, hold on. So we would have to go... I've got nothing to latch on. No. Okay. So we are... I would need a... Oh. Then one there. And then... I'll just put one some other random spot. I feel like this is a distraction from what I was trying to do. Here. Okay, so go from there. Right, so here we would go. That's not going to get me the pattern that I want, though. Oh, maybe it is. No, it is. Yeah. Okay. Trying to outthink myself, and I should not do that. Oh, there's that spare block in there. Get out of there. Spending far too much time on this when I should be spending far too much time on other things. Is there like some auto rotate button that no, get out of here. You know, like the old T button on Space Engineers 1? I feel like these things are always coming in rotated the wrong way. That is wrong. That should be there. There we go. I don't know what that pattern continues on like, but there we go. I got a cool little... It's going to have some teeth. Alright. Y-Wing's got teeth. How are we going to extend this part to cover that, though? I'm thinking... Then we gotta have like a... Do we have a... Or do I have to get down into the detail cubes for going across there? You know, like straight across. Teeny tiny. I think I gotta get into the detail cubes, don't I? This little guy. Like that. Then I don't know, we'll figure out something in the front there. Alright. In an hour and a half, we have made kind of the front of a spaceship. Alright, let's look at some... Let's get you out of here. Conveyors. Conveyor adapter, I don't think we'll need. But I just want to look. I just want to think through. What are we gonna do for? Is this not the group with the tiny ones? Stand by. Movement. That's the wrong kind of movement. Production. Logistics. There we go. Conveyor slice. Conveyor straight 2.5. Conveyor straight 0.5. That's what I want. Alright. So should we pull them together and then a single down the middle? I think that makes sense. We could go... We could embed it out the back like this, but then it would be in the floor that we're standing on, so we'd have to take it... If we were going to... I'm on the window. If we were going to do that, we'd have to, like, scooch it to the side and have it run underneath this, which we could do. We could totally do that. Actually, it might be kind of cool to do it that way. So what would be our... What would be our path here? We're not really going to be able to do it because of the offset. Yeah, and the fact that it's a 2x1. Okay, never mind. I think it would make sense then to just take it like this, bring it together, and then run a single thing down. And then that tells us how thick the bottom of the cockpit is going to be, basically, to cover that. Unless we move the Gatlings up one more. But I don't really want to do that. Yeah, actually, you know, it just occurred to me. The Gatlings on a Y-Wing stick out the front. Like, they're visible on the front. They're not completely covered. So we could... And I really hate that this red thing keeps popping up. That's bothersome to me. I wish we could make it a little bit dimmer. We could... I mean, we could move them forward as far as we want. Let's see, we could move them forward. I'm just trying to think of what's going to be the easiest way. Because there's no way to take these and move them up to this level or to this level. You know, there's no half far as I'm aware, there's no little halfway. So, yeah, I think we got to move these Gatlings forward a little bit, just so that they stick out. Then, I'm also thinking it makes sense then that we'll have them go. I'll fix that in a second. We'll have them go to the center, go down, and then go back. And then everything is pretty much contained in the center line as far as the conveyors are concerned. So let's see what that looks like. Oh, right. I don't have a central... Oh, this is going to be fun, actually. Okay. So, actually, we're going to end up putting these things, like, in one. Like, here. And the reason, of course, for that is because we're going to have to put, like, a junction there. Actually, do we have a... Yeah, we got one of these. Okay. We're going to put, like, one of those. What's this? That's the curve. Okay, you're going to go there. This is the light armor straight. That's what I want. So they're going to go like that. So that's how they're going to be hooked in, essentially. And then from here, we'll just end up going straight back. I think that's perfect. That does exactly what I want. And then we'll just armor over, or armor around this. And, yeah. Perfect. And then, I don't know where that's going to go to. There'll probably be cargo in the back somewhere. There's really nothing to put in the rest of the ship. It's just shape. So, I think that's a good plan. Okay, I'm going to go refill my water real quick. And then I will come back to continue working on this. So, sit tight, everybody. I will be right back. Oh my. The camera has gone funky here. Hold on. Hello. There we go. I'm back. Okay. Let's see what we're up to. Yeah. All right, so we're going to need probably like a layer underneath, and I think we're going to do it like that. Now, I'm thinking that we go up pretty quickly from here, is what I'm thinking. Now we can maybe do something interesting in the middle here, like that. We do something like that, and then... No, I don't want to do that. We could still do something. Well, yeah, I don't know. We could... Hold on. I'm just going to mumble to myself for a second. We could do... No, can't. Because then it doesn't really cover the... I was gonna say we could do something like this, but it doesn't really... Unless we were okay with a little bit of that showing through. You know, maybe we are okay with it. Let's do that, and we'll just fill in that like that. Yeah, you know what? That'll look okay. Who's going to be shooting right in the front of the ship between the guns anyway, right? Why do I feel like I may have mapped the keys reversed for one of these rotations when I did this on SE1? Alright, what's the detail block for you? There's no detail block for that. Is there? Nope. So we're going to do something different. Probably just do something like that. Or even that. We'll figure that out later. Alright, so then the majority of this, we don't really need it to be terribly complicated now, do we? Not terrible. Do it normally complicated. Yeah, we kind of need... like a... something like that, maybe. Then we'll smooth that up on the front there, but maybe that's like the main shape going back. Something like that. I could see that being pretty good. You know, just go like that. It doesn't have to be, you know, the bottoms of the ships, of my ships, are usually pretty boring, so just do something like that. Yeah, we'll have to do something with this pole in the way there at some point. But, alright, how do we make the front of this look good? How do we make the front of this look good? Maybe it should be... Because I kind of like... Okay, had a thought. Give me a little extra room on the front to work with there. We do something like that. Or, didn't I have... In here, I had something with these. We could do this instead. Something like that. Little pointy in the front. You know, poke your eye out kind of pointy. But then, could we do... There we go, and then that kind of merges in. Yeah, we're out of the Y-wing territory now, so if anybody was hoping for a Y-wing, this ship it's now inspired by, and that's it. So. Okay. And then, so that does cover that now. What do we do with this very first row here? Do we... Oh, you know what we do? We crack open these guys. That's what we do. We crack open these guys who have weird mirroring. And we turn off the mirroring. Is this what I want, though? Maybe this isn't what I want. This is not what I want. Yeah, this will work. This will work well enough, I think. Do I want that to actually flow into this, or is it okay to have a bit of a bump on the front? I think a bit of a bump on the front is okay. So let's go back to you. It's gonna be... Okay. I see. It's like I know which blocks in SE2 or SE1 I would have done for this. But I also know that not every block is here yet. There we go. Close enough. Close enough. Then I think I just want to plug up this hole right here. Oh, I don't have a slope like that, do I? I do not. Maybe we just leave that as is. Yeah, let's not worry about it too much. All right, what's going on? What's going on with this right here? What's happening with you? We could just grab one of these. Fill that in. Yeah. Okay. Got a bit of a mean shape in the front. Meaner than I was expecting or planning to do. Maybe maybe we don't put the point on it and we just leave it like that. I think that's better. Though I do kind of think in the middle now we need to kind of match the energy. That makes sense. Or, yeah. Better the first time. All right, let's not look at that again. Have a good night, Ire. Thanks for hanging out. Think that's looking good. Think that's looking good. All right. Then we're gonna... I'm probably not actually going to stream for that much longer just because I'm still not feeling terribly good and I could use the sleep. But I think at some point this part should fan out a little bit more. And it should probably be before we get to this point. You know what I'm going to do, though, is take another column here and go up and connect in right here just so I can take this out and put a conveyor in it instead. Nah, I'm pretty sure that's holding on to that, right? Yeah, okay. Then I can take this back out. Okay, good. And then we could do that. So that'll be there, and then eventually, presumably, when we have air tightness, I could put a little vent in the floor right here, you know? Or even a little cargo access, you know, once we have all of those things. It would be really cool, you know, just thinking about how, you know, they've always designed these seats with, or at least this one particular seat, with this, like, sliding rail on the back so that it could do, like, the Starfield or, I don't know, all sorts of different sci-fis where, like, the seat actually slides back. I think Mass Effect does it. Seat slides back. You know, you could sit and you get, like, a little animation of getting in and out, or, like, even if it was just, like, you know, you sit in it, and then you just see the camera just, like, slides forward slightly. And then as soon as you pop out, you just kind of see it slide back. I wouldn't want it to be, like, a full-on, like, Starfield where you, you know, you spend a good, like, 3 or 4 seconds getting in and out of the seat, which is good for immersion, except when you're, like, under attack and you're, like, running back to the cockpit, and then your character, like, you could see the explosions happening outside through the windows and stuff's flying by, and your character's, like, casually getting into the seat and, like, pulling himself forward and then, like, adjusting the monitors and stuff, and then you're like, can we please go? We're under attack. So, also, and I realize I'm bringing this up now that, you know, and Ire's gone, because he's a big Starfield fan, or at least a Starfield fan. And I heard there's a big update coming out for Starfield, and they're actually going to let you fly the ship in space, like, from planet to planet. So, yeah, one of the things that people said is, like, it's not very realistic that you know, even within a solar system, like, you're looking at a planet and you can't just like fly there, you know. Like one of the things that Todd Howard had said with Skyrim was like, if you see it, you can. Oh, sorry, I'm covering the thing. If you could see it, you can go to it. You know, if you see a thing off in the distance, you can go to that thing, no matter what it is. And you know, something about Starfield was just like, well, you know, yeah, you can see that planet, and you can't really go to it. You can plot a course to it, and that's about it. So now with this new update, you can actually just like kick in a certain mode and fly yourself over to the planet manually, which is pretty cool. Welcome back, Mr. Game Dork. I hope you got the good whiskey. All right, this is, I think at this point, we're just going to be boringly taking this back. I assume that's one PCU. All of these are just one PCU, right? Yeah. This thing is going to be a massive amount of PCU when it's done because of this. But I think it's looking okay. Still not super thrilled with the very front of it, but maybe it would be better if this didn't jump back out this way. Well, I hope you got the best whiskey you could get for your budget. How about if I say it that way? I think I probably shouldn't be continuing to mess with the front of this butt. I think right there is where we're going to go, and we're going to put a little, oops, we're going to put a little detail cube. Tiny little one of these guys right there. No? Yes? And then, where did I want this to go? Here? Or here? Here would work. We could pull that forward. So I don't want this detail cube there. This would work, but then we would have a little pokey bit sticking out, which we could get rid of. We could pull that back, or... yeah, I think we'll just do that. And then we'll fit in... we can get it in there. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it up in there. Yeah, let's do this. Sounds cool, Game Dork. Okay. Alright, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. The way that this game, like, flows the shapes together, though, and gives you, like, the curved armor edges and stuff, it almost feels like this game almost encourages you to make really well thought out, like, flowing shapes, you know, shapes that flow together, as opposed to my usual building style of just, like, multiple layers of stuff, which is kind of interesting. Alright, so I think I actually want the... I think I actually want this to start around there. But now I'm realizing I probably don't have the blocks from SE1 that I would need to make this work. Yeah, that's that. That's not what I want. Although, that might have worked better up on the top here, now that I'm looking at it. As a... something to take this down smoother. Well, too late now. I'm not going back. Alright, on here I think we're going to look at... How did I get these big ones? We're going to look into... Oh, we don't have the block that I want. Am I going to be able to... Am I going to have to construct it out of smaller blocks? What am I doing here? I want to fan it. I want to start to fan this out a bit. And I think I don't have the block that I would need for that. Right? Unless it's one of you guys. I just realized I have the detail cubes in there twice. On the block. On the toolbar. Yeah, and then... could I do it? Yeah. Okay, so the reason I don't have the block is because I can create the block. Although... you know, it's fine. It'll be like that, and then we'll go back a little bit with this. In fact, actually, it should probably go... Yeah, it should probably be then another one there. Then we would go... something like this. And then that kind of spreads us out. And then maybe this could be just the... If we... Once we've got this, like, folded down into there, maybe this is just how it goes then. Alright, so I'm going to have to figure out the pattern here. Then once I get this pattern figured out, I think I'm going to call it a day. I think that's the pattern that I'm going for now. Alright, then this just carries on back from there. So yeah, I think that gives me the the correct kind of flattening out aspect of it, as it kind of follows the same pattern as the little sawtooth things on top of it. So then how do we just manage to make this fit down to there? I am okay with that. We can call that a reaver wing. Let's see. So, wondering, do we want something like this. Something like that. And then we just follow that pattern. I think that's what we do. Okay. So we're just basically following the exact the exact same pattern as the layer above it, but slightly offset. Yep, I believe that is correct. No, not, yeah, that is correct. It's just, yeah, everything is just forward a bit. So, this is actually easier if I do these. We would go there, 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 and then now the question is, can I slip this in here? There we go. Come on. Okay. And then, let's see, we are going to need some larger blocks here for stability, for one, because this is just going to be like a piece hanging down, but also because I said so. All right. That's looking like a thing, surprisingly. Surprisingly looking like a thing. So now I'm wondering, does this cockpit area need to be this long, or should it end after one window? Because it is going to be like even if we did like a door right here, it's a pretty long walk to the cockpit. So I'm thinking maybe we let's look at the door. We only have the one door, but if we put the door like right along here somehow, and then maybe we got rid of these side windows and had it come in toward the door. Can't I rest you? You probably need to be sitting on a bigger... Yeah, okay. So, can't be sitting on the sides. That makes sense. Yeah, see, that just feels like way too big of a room. If I had other, because all we've got is like button panel, right? And I don't think I can really put, like, I could put them on the sides and stuff, but I can't really get them, you know, like I could have fit them in here if I'd thought ahead or something like that, but if we'd really wanted to, we could, I mean, we could still do that to give it a little bit more Yeah, then we would just have to like fill in this space. You know, that's kind of the problem with it, is I don't know what I would do to fill in this space. Unless we just did like straight up, you know, blocks or something like that. You know, armor. You know, we could do it, and then this becomes a little bit more of a, it, you know, feels more like a cramped cockpit a bit. It's not really, actually not that great. I don't like it. Don't like it. Yeah, I mean, we could put buttons in different spots. Could have put one in front of it, but it's too bad you can't turn them sideways. Yeah, we could have done this, but then we'd have to fill in behind them and everything. So, yeah, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna slice it so that maybe the door is right at the end of this. Right at the end of this window. I don't know if I can. Is the. It's there. Is that right? Nope. There's one off. Oh, and also it's up on the ceiling, so. Okay, alright, okay. But that's okay, because here's what I could do is make myself a little hole there to tell where it goes. And do it poorly, apparently. You know what? How about we just do that? To start out with, and then I think our door will touch the ground then. Does it? No. Not quite. Well, here's what we should do, actually, then, is take that off and do that. There we go. Now we have a door. And if we're going to go in, that's not a terrible way to go. I mean, if this was like your, you know, studio apartment type ship, you know, we could have a little kitchen in this area or whatever. I don't know. Maybe we should take this window. Yeah, actually, maybe it makes even more sense to take the window. All this smoke. Am I kicking up that much smoke? Take the window and move it forward to here. And then move the door forward as well. How far back is this window? That wouldn't make it aligned perfectly. Because of the way this is. Yeah, because I did put a little row there. But it's still like, it's just one. It's 3. No, is it 4? 1, 2. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we could have put it aligned with that. I'm thinking we take this out. We move the window back. Move the door back. Okay. Come back to you. I don't know what we're doing with you. Put that there. Get our window again. Alright, is that the right window? I think so. Yeah, it's still slightly off by 1, but that's okay. I think that's fine. Because then what we'll do is get rid of these windows. We're just going to kind of shape this down. Uh-oh. Did I turn off? There it is. Okay. Let's see. So what we kind of want back here is for this area itself to kind of taper down, although this part is going to continue back. So like this top part should taper down somehow. Like a... Kind of like this. Actually. Kind of like that. And then you would just, you know, you'd come in and you'd land here and then you could walk in or something like that. Look at that. I got to use the big blocks. Is there any details on this door I'd want to save? Yeah, there's a little pad there. So let's do something like, not like that, like that in here, and then do a, or actually we could even go like that. Do I want to cover up these corners or not? I don't think so. Well, yeah, maybe. Okay. Something like that. To frame the door, and then you could still see the door thing there. So how are we going to make this work? We're going to make it work. From the inside, well, we're going to have to make this come all the way and meet there. So that's one thing. I think this is going to end up being a problem. Maybe not a huge problem. Problem solved. Then what's going to happen here? Maybe we just... So what's that look like on the outside there? Yeah. It is what it is. If we had slid this forward one, I feel like we'd be in much better shape here. Because then I could go kind of straight across with this, but I'm already doing that here. Well, no, actually, you know what? That's fine. We don't need this. Is this a... Okay. Oh, no, I just... Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. So now we can do that across, and that mimics that. And we could just throw a window back up in there. Excuse me. I think that looks not terrible, which is what I was going for. Alright, then to make this part look better, I think what we're going to end up doing is I think we're going to end up doing something like this. And maybe not that. Is this what I want to be doing? Or do I want... No, you know what? I think this is okay. Because then we'll just... We can just have this come straight to the ground. Yeah, and then that's it. It's just basically taking this to the ground and then... Or actually, even better, we just, take this back. In fact, we could leave that empty. Yeah, so then this part here will just... Yeah, good enough. This part will just kind of go back toward... Do we have a misalignment of... Is there like a block that's not attached here or something? Yeah, I know. Something like that. And then we could also... Because this will be like the neck going back toward the rest of the ship. And then we could even do something like... Oh, come on. This is the... No, this is not what I'm looking for. Why is that in this group? This thing. Not quite what I was going for. Because that sits to... Well, I was thinking something like that. We'll move it because it's not aligned properly, but something like that. So like when you want to get into the cockpit, you can just kind of like fly down here, land on this little ramp, and then walk yourself in. You know, and then that way this kind of goes up and meets with the rest of the ship. Maybe I won't use a big ramp block like that, or maybe I will. But either way, I think we gotta move it. Gotta move it back. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, all of these should probably be... These are just twice as tall as those, right? No, they're not. They're 5 tall. Yeah, because they're half of a 5 meter. I don't think that math is what I just said. But, well, actually, no. If we had it line up with the floor, then it would be fine. It would take up the full width from here to the floor, and I just copied this whole thing, and it looks really cool. Yeah, we could just do that. We could take out the floor from here on out. We'd still have to keep this center section done. But basically, starting even from back here, we could take this floor out and just put these big, thick bricks in there, because they're also just a single PCU. When I say these, I mean these. All right, because these are 5 tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Actually, it would have to be starting with... Let's see. Let's take out... It's going to take me a minute. Can I delete things without holding anything? No. I think it would have to be starting with the wall of the door. Now I'm going to leave... It could start here, but I'm going to leave this. I think that's kind of necessary. But... actually, it would have to start... How far across are these? We'll fill in what's left. Because it would have to be starting like here, I reckon. Are these? Yeah, those are full blocks. Okay. Can't believe them. What am I doing? There we go. Alright, and then I think we'd have to take this back to a similar level as well. But then we should be able to just use these big versions. Like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then we can take these groups make no sense to me. We could take this, put it like there. Am I already at the... Hold on. Oh, jeez. I just want to see. Oh, yeah, that's right. So we wouldn't be able to do that. We'd have to do, like... we'd have to do it manual, because otherwise it'll dip down too far. I think that's right. Oh, I say manual, I mean we'll have to just manually build up a little ramp here or something like that. Or maybe this just kind of casually goes all the way back like this. Although there's technically supposed to be a turret, like right here. So maybe this goes back just straight to a turret piece. Yeah. Or maybe we just do a... maybe we just do something like that. And then there's just a... like a cutout right here. Yeah, could just be that. Although it feels like if you were in space, you would probably want some kind of a... Well, you know what, though? We could just use the detail cubes. And, are there any round blocks at all in this game yet? Game dork. So yeah, I saved all that PCU, and then look what I'm doing instead. I'm gonna make manual stairs. What? There we go. So there you go. So when you exit the ship, you'll come out and there will be... Oh, you'll shimmy your way up because there's no grav gen here. Oh, I should have made that one over. Get rid of it. And then we could, if, what would it look like if we did like, something like that. There we go. It's a cool little stair design. So you walk out. Is there a grav gen in here? I assume there is, right? Gravity generator. Let's, can we see the range of it at all? I'm just going to put it down here. And assume that we will feel its effects over here. So, I think that is a reasonable way in and out of the ship. And we should probably also put a light, like right there, so that I can see when I'm coming in and out of the ship. Although, now I'm looking at that, and I think this kind of light is going to be better, because it's not going to block the little green thing there, which I like. So there we go. Now we're falling off the ship. So yeah, turn off my light. I think we... That's a good sign that it's time to head out here. So, I think, you know, for my first real attempt, this has been my first real attempt at creative building of a ship in Space Engineers. Like I said in the beginning, my experience originally was I did some creative base building, which I don't have that save anymore. I did some survival building, which you saw much of on the stream, which was making like a little mining ship, which did not look good. You know, I didn't put any effort into making it look good. And yeah, I built some buildings. But this is the first time that I've tried to sit down and actually think about how you shape things in Space Engineers 2. And kind of thinking I wish that this lip went all the way around. Maybe we could adjust that next time if I remember. But anyway. Yeah, I think it's been pretty successful so far. It doesn't look at all like a Y-wing because I did not care to actually follow the pattern I was going for, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It was just fooling around with stuff. So, let's see. Sunday, we should, assuming I don't get sick for a third time, we should be doing Designated Survivors in Space Engineers 1 with DNA. And I believe we have decided to skip all of the other goals that we had and start building warships, large grid warships, so that we can start getting him some practice with ship-to-ship combat. And we'll probably attack some, like, you know, NPC ships. Not necessarily Factorum right away. I don't know that he's ready for that, but because he hasn't really been in any ship-to-ship combat yet. So I'm just pulling, as I'm talking, I'm pulling some extra support material off the bottom of my Space Engineer guy that we 3D printed, which you can get the files from Merrick's. I think it was linked in Merrick's dev diary last week. He's very cute. I like him. 3D printed. Okay, so anyway, that'll be that next Thursday. I think there's a pretty good chance that I'll be back here doing this again next Thursday. We'll put Titan on hold for a little bit, for like another week or so. Not forever, because I got a lot of stuff to do in that series before I can feel like it can be properly put away. So I think that's the plan. And nothing tomorrow, of course. Yeah, that sounds good. So thanks, everybody, for hanging out today. Thank you, Marcus, for re-upping your membership and all the other members and everybody else who was hanging out with us today. Have a great rest of your week and a great weekend. Talk to you all later.